What am I doing? I always feel so tired and depressed. I hate my job, which takes up most of my time. I don't have the time or energy to meet new people, and I don't have any real friends. I like to play video games in the evening in order to feel better, but I can't go on like this. My life clearly isn't working. Something needs to change. I hope I find something useful. Every time I seek help, I feel so discouraged by these repetitive and empty ads. Wait, what's this? Yes, I think I want to get to the root of the issue. I'll check the website. It looks like this is a psychologist offering support customized to each individual's specific needs. I think this is something I could use. I'll schedule a consultation. I can't believe I'm going to see a psychologist. The week flew by so quickly. I'm both excited and nervous at the same time. Looks like this is the place.
Hi, my name is Chris. Nice to meet you. Please follow me to my office. Tell me, what seems to be the issue you're experiencing?
I think I'm depressed.
Do you know what depression is?
If I recall correctly, depression is a mood disorder that causes a feeling of sadness and loss of interest.
Actually, what I had in mind was that depression is the opposite of expression. I'll elaborate. Energy, instead of being turned outwardly, externally, expressing itself, is turned inwardly, depressing itself, causing a damaging reduction in activity.
Now that I think about it, what you're saying makes sense. Please continue.
Expression is the result of two elements: will to do, and creativity. If you're missing one of these, energy starts depressing. Now, before we proceed further, I would like your honest answer to this question. Whatever problem you have, you should always ask yourself this question first. Do you want to solve your problem? Or, do you want others to solve the problem for you?
I'm not exactly sure how to answer. I mean, I'm clearly here because I seek help. Why are you even asking me this?
I'm asking because there are many people that just want to play victims and refuse to adapt to circumstances and life around them. These people already have set ideas and projections of how the world is in their mind. They are unwilling to deal with unpleasant feelings and thoughts. They just want someone else to solve their symptoms and don't want to actually deal with their underlying problems. Are you one of these people?
I mean, medication and other people sometimes help me get into a better state to deal with problems and challenges.
I'm not saying taking medication and receiving help from other people is bad. They can present a great external source of support that can help you achieve your desired goal or solution. What I was talking about is whether you have an actual internal desire to change and are willing to find a solution that works for you.
Yes, I think I'm one of the people that actually want to solve their own problems.
Okay then. I think we can work together and actually implement change in your life.
Thanks, I'm eager to hear what you have to say.
After you decide whether you are the one actually in charge of your life or not, comes the first really important step. This step is divided into two really important thinking processes. What you need to do first is set an aim. The aim should be a goal you set yourself to achieve. Take your time, think about it thoroughly, or even better, get a diary and write it down. Make it something tangible. Try not to make it too big at first. Be realistic, but let it be personal. Let it inspire you to transform into a version of yourself you want to be.
I often experience a futile feeling. A sense of helplessness and frustration with the way things are. A profound loneliness and disconnection with the people around me. For instance, even though modern technology makes it possible to connect with people anywhere in the world, I feel disconnected with the people around me more than ever. Taking what you said into consideration, I feel a good aim for me would be to feel more connected and involved with the people around me.
Yes, this is a well-set aim. Proceed to define how you can achieve this set aim. This brings us to the second thinking process: pragmatic self-evaluation. Try to evaluate where you realistically stand in relation to your aim. How far are you? What are your current circumstances? What is under your influence and what is not? The most important part about this process is that you are brutally honest with yourself. Accept and allow yourself that you have insecurities, fears and doubts. Realize your own incompetence and inexperience. Don't let it put you down, rather, let it motivate you to aspire to improve every day. Evaluate your potential, your capabilities and strengths that can help you achieve your aim.
I feel reluctant and numb. I don't have anyone around me that I like to spend my time with. And what's even worse, I work in a low-wage job I despise. Would pragmatic self-evaluation mean that I should acknowledge the current state and mood I'm in and move towards my set goals from here? For instance, I always wanted to do something I'm passionate about.
Yes, this is exactly the right way of thinking about it. You're on point about realizing your current state and mood first, because that is your starting point. Accept it. I know it can feel counterintuitive to push yourself out of your comfort zone from such a bad state of feeling, but it always takes at least a little bit of discipline and dedication to get from one state of feeling to another. Oftentimes, especially when you're feeling really bad, it's better to put your feeling aside and just do the next step you're supposed to do according to the aim you set yourself. Again, try to rather see it as a new form of discipline, a challenge, an experiment where you slowly learn how to do what you want to do, even though you don't feel like doing it at the moment.
What you're saying makes a lot of sense. I feel inspired to give it a try. I feel like I should start working on something I'm passionate about. By doing that, I'll also be able to meet new people that share my interests and probably feel more connected and involved in the process as well.
That sounds like a good plan. Try to make it even more concrete by deciding what your first course of action will be.
I've always been interested in memes and jokes. Maybe I should start by learning graphic design. That way I can start producing content and potentially even make some money doing it. I even have some basic skills already. I think I'll start working on greatly improving those after I come from work instead of procrastinating all day.
Wow, you're actually really good at this. You should continue thinking and structuring your life this way going forward. I believe now is the right time for me to share with you the next important step you need to follow on your journey of personal development.
Okay, I'm all ears.
The problem a lot of people have, once they set up a plan for themselves, is actually following it. This happens because one person or state of feeling forms the plan, but another has to actually follow it. You probably experienced this feeling already when you made plans for the next day, but once you woke up, you no longer felt like doing it.
Yeah, this actually happens to me quite often.
Exactly. I won't go into too much detail about this phenomenon today, but essentially, this happens because of a common psychological misconception of ourselves. You see, every person believes they are a singular unit, while in reality, they are a unity of personalities affected by external causes, emotional feelings and internal chemical processes.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
This is why it's essential to learn to do what you set yourself to do, even though you don't feel like doing it the moment you need to do it. Otherwise you're just a helpless disorganized structure pushed around by different causes and events.
You're right. I remember that sometimes I get really hyped and motivated to improve. However, after a few days, this feeling passes and I'm just back where I started.
Because of this constant phenomenon happening within us, it sometimes feels almost impossible to keep up a productive rhythm.
What can I do then? I don't want this to affect me too much going forward. Otherwise I'll probably just fall back into my old patterns.
The answer is actually really simple. Remember the process we just did? You need to repeat this process frequently enough in order to achieve the aim you set yourself. Let me elaborate. Actually, I'll explain it using a metaphor. Imagine the aim you set yourself like a huge fire. When you begin your journey, because the aim feels so far away, it looks like a light at the end of a tunnel. The closer you get, the bigger it looks. However, because the light at the end of the tunnel looks so small in the beginning and you're also influenced by external factors, you're likely to lose your way from the very beginning. You lose sight of the aim, get lost, and you feel stuck and helpless. Let's take your case as an example. You said you want to feel more connected and involved with the people around you. You proceeded to self-evaluate your position and decided that you'll learn graphic design. You feel inspired. However, let's say a few weeks pass and your job starts to take a lot of your time and energy. You lose your inspiration. You just want to relax and chill. You lose your way, you start procrastinating again. This is the point where you need to repeat the process of pragmatic self-evaluation and readjust to your current circumstances. I call this step recalibration. Whenever you wander away from your aim or don't feel the same inspiration or dedication to work towards it, you need to take your time and reevaluate your current circumstances and feelings. This step will help you adjust your attitude and help you stay consistent on your path towards your aim. Let's get back to your example. You're tired, you started procrastinating again. You lost the light at the end of the tunnel. Now imagine the process of recalibration as a candle glowing in the dark. Following it will help you get back on track. Instead of procrastinating, you decide to reevaluate your current circumstances and feelings. I recommend using a diary for this part, but whatever works for you is ultimately what matters. Once you take time to reevaluate, you start to realize how you lost your way, what brought you here, and how to move from this point towards your aim again. You will feel your expectations, attitude, and feelings readjust. For instance, maybe you will analyze how you can adjust your attitude or circumstances when you work, so your job will take less of your time and energy. Maybe you'll find energy being more physically active. The possibilities are endless and only you know the solution to your problems.
I understand, and what you're saying makes a lot of sense, but I'm still afraid I won't be able to do this. Some days I feel like I can barely do anything.
You have to realize and deeply accept that this is part of the growth process. This is part of the reality you're moving from. Right from the beginning, before you even start to do anything, you need to be perfectly honest and clear with yourself whether you actually want to solve your problems and put some effort into it. If you really do, then you'll find a way to get yourself to recalibrate. If you don't understand this point, I'm afraid I can't help you.
Is there something I can do to make this process easier? I just don't want to feel disappointed after I've been so encouraged.
In order to make this process easier, I would recommend dissecting your aim into smaller achievements.
Can you give me an example?
For example, you could start writing a diary while you're learning graphic design. You can set a small goal like writing 2 times a week where you analyze your progress. That way, even if you fail to work on your graphic design skills and manage to analyze why you failed to do so, you can still consider your week a success. This analysis will give you new insights into your situation, how you operate, what happened, why it happened, and how to proceed going forward. In fact, let's get back to our metaphor from earlier. Imagine these small achievements like small candles lighting the path toward your desired aim. Each candle presents a small goal you need to accomplish. Because the goal is adjusted to fit your current capabilities, it can be achieved in an easier manner. Likewise, the candle closer to you shines brighter, so you naturally gravitate more towards it. Once you accomplish the goal, you can move on to the next candle. You see, a lot of people start with big goals. Because they don't see immediate and significant results, they quit soon after. This is because they overestimate their capabilities and actually lack the vision, perseverance, composure, and so on. By dissecting an end goal into smaller achievements, you allow yourself the time and space to build up virtues needed to undergo a prolonged process. I like to call this approach, taking small steps.
So you're saying I should formulate a plan, which includes smaller goals I should follow in a consecutive manner.
Yes. However, these don't necessarily need to be thought up in advance. Actually, I would recommend formulating a plan only if you're absolutely sure you can follow it up. Otherwise, keep the consecutive goals somewhat vague. This helps you stay flexible for unpredictable situations.
But why do you want me to analyze myself and formulate a plan? I thought it was your job to analyze people and help them.
In order to provide you an answer to this question, we need to realize the current state the world is in. It is becoming ever more complex with all the data and technology available. The quantity and complexity of information is not in line with the understanding of the interconnectivity of it. Each person has their own unique set of physiological and psychological traits. We live on different planes of being and have a different level of understanding and feeling. It is naive to believe a doctor will know exactly how to solve each of his patient's issues, especially taking into consideration the uniqueness and complexity of every individual and his situation. Now tell me, do you still believe it is possible for me to provide you an exact solution to your problem?
Well, I thought
I can tell you the necessary steps you need to take and why. However, this won't resolve any of your issues. This is because every individual process of change requires a certain amount of understanding and energy. Me giving you some words of truth does not equip you with the necessary capabilities you need to resolve your issues. Let's say I tell you need more vision and confidence in yourself. Will you know how to incorporate it in your life, or will you just dismiss my recommendation as inadequate, just because you don't know how to do it? You need experience in order to progress. Bear in mind that through our logical thinking we are accustomed to believing our progress should be linear. Meaning, from one candle to another. In reality, the process looks more like this. This is because we are constantly distracted by our unconscious automated responses to stimuli. These unconscious automated habits deter us from our desires, because we don't have the capabilities to consciously resist them. This is why it is essential to observe, analyze and study yourself. Because you know yourself the best. You know what's best for you, what you want, and you get the capabilities for it while you work towards it. And my goal is to spark this curiosity within you. This internal desire to change. If I'm successful, you'll also save a few bucks on therapy as well. I hope I answered your question.
this is a lot to take in. You're right though. I get it. It was always about me. About my will, about my creativity. About my life.
Excellent. I see you're already integrating. I propose we conclude our session here for today. I think you have a lot to process.
Okay. Thanks.
Don't thank me yet. There is still a lot of work ahead of you.
Babe, I forgot something. You go ahead and I'll meet you outside.
Okay, babe.
Hey,
Oh. Hi. How have you been?
I wanted to thank you. You changed my life.
No, you changed your life. I just gave you a different perspective on it.